asked questions of the Labour Party and several of them. Will the government commit to urgently deporting all guilty foreign nationals involved?
I feel disgusted by what the Honourable Gentleman has just said. Can you imagine if you're a victim?
You've seen the headlines about the rape gang scandal. You've heard the politicians' carefully crafted statements. But have you witnessed the raw, unfiltered confrontation that left a Labour MP in tears?
Sure, his intent is to get to the truth and get justice. But the language, please think about who hears our words.
In this video, you'll see Rupert Lowe take on the political establishment, asking the hard-hitting questions that have been avoided for too long. Are you ready to face the uncomfortable truths about this national tragedy? Rupert Lowe isn't your typical member of parliament. He's the kind of politician who makes the establishment squirm in their seats. A successful businessman turned Brexit Party MEP, Lowe has a reputation for asking the questions others are too afraid to voice. His presence in the House of Commons is like a breath of fresh air for some and a storm cloud for others. As Lowe takes his seat in Parliament, there's a palpable tension in the air. The political old guard eyes him warily, knowing his penchant for cutting through the usual parliamentary niceties. Lowe's background in business and his outsider status in Westminster make him a formidable opponent. He's not beholden to party lines or afraid of ruffling feathers. This is precisely why his constituents elected him, to shake things up.
Preventing this in future. How many deportations have been blocked due to the rapist's right to a family life or other ECHR influences?
The atmosphere in the House of Commons is electric as Lowe prepares to speak. You can almost hear a pin drop as MPs lean forward, some in anticipation, others in trepidation. The historical context of the rape gang scandal looms large over the proceedings. For years, reports of organised sexual abuse in towns across England were ignored or downplayed by authorities. The scale of the tragedy is staggering, with thousands of young lives forever changed by the failure of those in power to act.
How many girls are estimated to have been raped? Is there a tally for the overall number of rapes? Horrifyingly, it may well be in the millions.
Lowe's presence in Parliament represents a turning point. He's not here to play political games or score cheap points. His mission is to drag the ugly truth into the light, no matter how uncomfortable it might be for his colleagues. As he rises to his feet, you can see the determination etched on his face. This is the moment he's been waiting for, a chance to hold those in power accountable for their inaction. The first question Lowe fires off hits like a thunderbolt. Can the right honourable member explain why, despite numerous reports and warnings, nothing was done to protect these vulnerable children for over a decade? The impact is immediate. A hushed silence falls over the chamber, broken only by the sound of uncomfortable shifting in seats.
Will the government undertake a full investigation into officials who had knowledge of these crimes, yet failed to act?
Some MPs look down, avoiding eye contact, while others glance nervously at their party leaders. The reaction to Lowe's question is a mix of shock, discomfort, and for some, a grudging respect. He's touched a nerve, forcing his fellow parliamentarians to confront an issue they'd rather ignore. The political establishment, so used to deflecting difficult questions with well-rehearsed soundbites, finds itself on the back foot. Lowe's direct approach has caught them off guard, and it's clear that business as usual won't cut it this time.
Government publish a full nationality breakdown of those convicted for such offences, along with the location of their crimes.
Sarah Champion's position in this political drama is as complex as it is controversial. As a Labour MP, she's been a vocal figure in discussions surrounding the grooming gang scandal. But now, as Rupert Lowe turns his piercing gaze her way, Champion finds herself caught between her past statements and the harsh spotlight of accountability. Lowe's questioning is relentless, a barrage of inquiries that cut through the usual political doublespeak. He's not interested in carefully crafted soundbites or evasive maneuvers. With each question, the tension in the room ratchets up a notch. You can almost hear the collective intake of breath as Lowe presses on, demanding answers about the government's plans to deport guilty foreign nationals involved in the scandal.
Asked questions of the Labour Party, and several of them. Will the government commit to urgently deporting all guilty foreign nationals involved?
The other MPs in the room aren't just spectators, they're unwilling participants in this political theatre. Their body language speaks volumes. Some shift uncomfortably in their seats, while others exchange worried glances. It's as if Lowe's words are peeling back the veneer of political decorum, exposing the raw nerves beneath. Experts have noted that this aggressive style of questioning can be a powerful tool for holding leaders accountable. Lowe's approach, while uncomfortable for those on the receiving end, is pushing for a level of transparency that's often lacking in political discourse. It's forcing Champion and the government to confront the harsh realities of their actions, or lack thereof, in addressing the scandal.
I feel disgusted by what the Honourable Gentleman has just said. Can you imagine if you're a victim?
As the pressure mounts, you can see Champion's composure starting to crack. The emotional weight of the issues at hand is palpable. This isn't just about political point scoring. It's about the lives of thousands of vulnerable children who've been failed by the system. Champion, who's been on both sides of this issue, now finds herself in the unenviable position of defending the indefensible. The moment Champion breaks down in tears is a pivotal one. It's not just a personal reaction. It's a symbolic representation of the emotional toll this scandal has taken on everyone involved.
How many reoffences have occurred since release? How many of these monsters are walking on the same streets as the girls they raped and abused?
Her tears speak to the human impact of these political decisions, the suffering of victims that can't be brushed aside with bureaucratic language or party lines. In the aftermath of Champion's emotional response, the dynamics in the room shift dramatically. The usual political bravado gives way to a somber reality.
Establish a specified task force to root out this wicked evil. Don't just fire these vile individuals, prosecute them.
Lowe's questioning has done more than just make a point. It's forced a moment of reckoning for everyone present. The confrontation between Rupert Lowe and Sarah Champion has laid bare the raw nerves of British politics. It's not just about one MP's tears or another's tough questions. This is about the very fabric of our democracy. Are we, as a nation, willing to demand real accountability from those in power? The activists have it right. We can't just sit back and watch.
Here and outline my disgust at what has happened with regard to the historic grooming scandal. The British people want answers.
It's time to get off our sofas and into our communities. Ring up your local MP. Demand to know what they're doing about the issues that matter. Support those pushing for reform in crime and immigration policies. But here's the real kicker. How far are we willing to go to ensure transparency in government? Will we accept tears and emotional displays as substitutes for real answers? Or are we ready for a new era of British politics, where hard questions lead to concrete actions, not just hand-wringing and sob stories? The ball's in our court now. What's it going to be, Britain?